to a game of Star Wars, the Sith Temple. It's a Trophy Dark game. Trophy Dark is a horror game, actually about treasure hunters going into a place where they aren't really wanted, where that place resents them. In this case, it's called the Sith Temple, and it is, as I said, it is a Star Wars setting where these three fine, upstanding imperial citizens have put it into their head to go to the Sith Temple. Let me give you the opening sprawl for this episode, which is like legends from the past. And long forgotten Istahal, an ancient evil awaits. Brave treasure seekers have come to enter the Temple of Darth Malfara, the Sith Mistress of the Dark Force. Will they prevail and find her ancient treasure? Will they gain the powers of the dark side while a firestorm brews on the horizon and the Empire's troops draw ever closer? That said, I will now draw back a little and mention something about content, aim, tone, and subject matter. Content is, yeah, it's a horror game. It is a game that is mostly play to fail. These treasure hunters are probably not, the game isn't made for the treasure hunters to succeed and then become probably that they will either die a horrible death or, well, tear, or maybe even succeed, which could be worse, actually. The aim is that we will see where these treasure hunters go, what happens to them, and find out how they will fare inside this horrible, horrible dark side temple. And the tone is meant to be, I think, pretty dark because, yeah, because it's a dark game. It's a horror game at its heart. So it's not, I mean, there is a place for gallows humor or relieving the tension by laughter, but it's mostly like, haha, this is so horrible, haha, laughter. That said, because it's a horror game, we will use safety tools. We will have lines and veils. We don't have lines and veils in this character keeper. I'm horrible, I apologize. I will add this post haste. I've done this before, sorry.
Okay.
Okay, I've added it in. You can fill it in. I will personally add sexual assault and coercion. I don't much like this. I don't think there's a lot of danger that this will happen here, but you never know. I think we should maybe consider mental invasion and how we will want to deal with that, because that is part of the dark side of the force and the force itself. If that's okay with you, if you would rather not that this happens at all or to your character, yeah, you can just write it in the lines and veils, I guess, if that's not something you would like to see. And then we won't touch upon that, at least not with your character or at all. That, yeah, if it's at all, then we might need to revisit one of the character's powers. Yeah, I think at the veils, I think graphic violence of any kind. I'd like to keep it on the Star Wars level, which is mostly PG-13 or 16, where you can see people fly about and land and be dead without you seeing any blood or gore or anything. So this will be probably very gore-free, even though people might die. But laser swords don't leave bloody things, wounds.
Unless you're a tauntaun.
Yeah, right, you're right. I remember that one. Okay. We will also use the X card, which means, which I'm pretty sure you're all familiar, so I'll just say quickly, if anything happens in the game that you think is kind of unfun or uncomfortable, or you just think, hey, I don't know if that's really, do we want to go there? Then just, you can type X in the chat or call it out or make an X with your hands. But I can't guarantee you I will see it, because I will look at my notes a lot and not at all your lovely faces. So maybe call it out, or at least type it out. And if you see somebody has typed or has made an X and I'm not looking, then maybe just somebody else can call it out as well. If somebody uses an X card or the X card, then we will maybe ask for clarification what is being X'd out, and then we will not use this content, we'll strike it out, and not and you don't need to justify yourself. You can X out some content you have added yourself if you realize, oh well, where were you going with that? That's terrible. So it's fine. You can X out names or stuff like I don't know, kind of any kind of description, if that is for some reason not really, for some reason spotting fun for you. Okay, so we have now, I think we have everything we need to. Are you all okay with the safety tools I've just explained? Rich? Yeah, I see a lot of thumbs up, so cool. Very nice. So let us start with our game. There is a role for your party link. I don't know if you've all found it. I will put it in the chat again, because it's some kind of, the spreadsheet was weird for me adding the link. Okay, what am I forgetting? Anything here? I don't think so.
Sabine, would you mind if I roll physical dice?
No, not at all. You don't have to use the dice roller. You can roll physical.
I've played in some games where it's helpful for the GM to have dice to be able to move around and stuff. So I just wanted to ask before we started. Yeah.
No, but you will need dice of different colors at least. You will need at least 2 light dice, and more dark dice, I guess, can go, well, it can go up, but it won't probably go over 3 or 4.
Yeah, no problem.
But okay, it's D6s, so anyway, I'm guessing you, since you're a role player, you will have lots of dice, like most of us do. Okay, I sip my coffee now. And then we will roll into the game. Let me look where we are. Yes. Okay. I have. No, we don't need this one. Yes. I have 2 questions for each character. I will go in the order of the character keeper. Unless, Scott, you're uncomfortable with this, and I will pick out somebody else. The first question I have for Flu, how do you pronounce that? That is the first question, actually.
I just go by Flu, but I mean, because you're not as skilled in Transition as I am, it's
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's really not that difficult. I don't understand.
Okay, I'll just say Flu from now on, and I have to refresh my Trandoshan. It's really horrible. I've neglected it. Yeah, so you are right now. You once were a bounty hunter, I see, but now you're a mechanic. For some reason, you were disgraced. Why?
I may have broken the terms of the guild.
Okay.
I may not have fulfilled a contract.
Oh,
What
wow.
happens between me and the guild stays between me and the guild, but those are the rumors that persist and follow me everywhere I go.
Oh, like those voices that are calling you, I guess. So, what strange instance in your life made you first believe in the Force? And Rich and Stephen, you might start thinking about these questions, because I will ask them of all of you.
think I believed in it from a young age. I think my mother may have been what now that I'm an adult I understand to be force sensitive, but she used to always seem to have an invisible helper around the kitchen when she was preparing food. And I never quite made the connection. To me, growing up, it seemed normal, but then later in seeing how rare that actually was, and then hearing the stories and the tales of the Jedi Knights and the Sith, that's when I put two and two together, and it really sunk in that, oh my gosh, this thing is actually real and it is out there.
Mhm. And the other question I have is, who was the last person whose authority you accepted?
It was my guild leader. I guess we don't know enough about how they're structured based on the Mandalorian yet, but right up until the time, of course, that I didn't fulfill the contract, but I respected them. They really had helped mentor me. Weren't quite
Were they
but definitely respected their authority.
were they Trandoshan as well?
No, they were. Well, let's just pick somebody. Let's go to our handy species and names tab. They were a. How do you pronounce that? Quarren?
Yeah. Oh, Quarren. Cool. Okay, thank you for that. Then we go over to, how do you pronounce that, Rich? Please.
Oh, Payden. Payden
Payden.
Void.
Payden Void. Okay.
It's like payday, but with an
Hey.
on.
Okay, so you're a smuggler, I guess, and a maladjusted cyborg because somebody put cybernetics into you, or was that yourself?
So it started off that it was my choice, and then, I had a few street docs that put in some extra things to make me do jobs, and then I had to do jobs to get that stuff removed, and it's a muddle. It's like a big, long. My chain code's got a lot of stuff in it, lots of forks and revisions and stuff. It's not good. I'm from Nar Shaddaa, hot space, a lot of rough customers there.
Okay, so what strange instance in your life made you first believe in the Force?
So I have a question. Do we have a timeline? Is the possibility that he had that he saw Aura sing? Is that a possible? Is that within the timeline that you're thinking things happen? Or
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's roughly in the between 2 and 3 of the original trilogy.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so hold on a second. Now I'm Asajj, because Aura sings just a huntress.
Oh.
So I heard tales about Asajj Ventress, but then she came into Nar Shaddaa one time, and I saw her tear people up. It was amazing, and I knew more powerful than machines in the flesh was this thing that she had.
Mm-hmm. And who was the last person whose authority you accepted?
It was probably Maru the Hutt.
How do you, Maru?
Marr. I just grabbed the drive, Maru the Hutt there, so sound like a cool Hutt name, but Maru the Hutt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Maru's got it going on. Really in control. It's good.
Okay. You. And last but not least, Stephen, how do you pronounce your character's name?
Ril Vecchi.
Ulvechi, okay.
Ril? Goes by
Ril.
Ril?
Okay, fine. Great. Okay, so I see he once was a cartel goon. There are probably some stories there. Now he's a spy. Okay, nice, interesting. So not a stormtrooper. Damn.
No.
Okay. So what was the first, what strange instance made you believe in the Force?
So ever since I was a young child, I heard voices, and doctors thought I was sick, so I stopped telling people about them. And so I learned very early on not to mention anything about this, because then they would, make me talk about things and give me drugs, and it didn't feel good. But as I got older, I realized some of these voices I recognized, and they were telling me secrets.
Mhm.
And it was other people's secrets.
Ooh.
And I could use this to
Mhm.
influence them, to keep them quiet, or to take things from them.
Oh.
And that's how I developed a reputation as a good spy, that I could sneak into places and take things and information that other people couldn't, and they couldn't figure out how I knew it.
Nice. And who's the last person whose authority you accepted?
That was my mother.
Okay.
I was very young, and I accepted her authority until she was killed. And everyone else, I don't think they know the truth of the matter. I don't think they know what's really going on.
Okay. Very cool. I will have to adjust my name here because that is not really I'm going to be today. Okay. Okay, so we will start out thing here. Yes, we'll start out at the planet. You have landed your spaceship on Istahal, which and you are looking at the ancient Temple of Darth Malfara. It's mostly it looks like the picture you can see here. It looks ruined. There are columns stuck in the sand. There is a harsh wind blowing. It's not really warm, but there's sand everywhere and it's blowing here and there. And you know that there is a ship of stormtroopers after you. For some reason, they have followed you here to this rather secret location of the temple. We skip over the whole process of you finding out where the temple was and how you came together. Maybe we'll figure out some of that while you're in the temple, but you're here now. The temple stands before you. There is an entrance. It's this inverted V-shaped thingy that you can see on the picture. And you can, as you draw closer, your ship has landed more. It wasn't an easy landing, but it was not a crash landing, so you could use it again to get away from here if you want to, but you probably don't. And as you draw closer to the temple, you can see there is some sort of movement in the shadows of this inverted V, of this portal. So what do you do?
We're all three together, like we're
Yes,
going
you are
there.
on the you're on the same ship.
All right, cool. Well, stuff isn't gonna, get itself, fellas. So I guess we should land and let Flu take care of things.
Yeah, those stormtroopers are still after us, so we better put down soon.
Do you think you could put down some kind of trap so that we would know if they were coming after us? Like a location detector?
Oh,
Yeah, good try.
Yeah, that'd be good. Thank you.
okay.
I'm glad, Peyton, that you took on the mantle of leadership of this group. So
Yeah,
just be
me
sure and
too.
let us know what to do.
Okay. Well, just call me Captain, because it sounds good. All right,
Yes, sir.
let's. Man, I like this. I like this drill. This works for me. Let's go down. So we'll.
Yeah, you go down. That's not a problem. As I said, landing is not smooth, but it's not a crash. You're in the front of the inverted V there. And as I said, and there is movement in between in the darkness inside the temple. There's something moving, some shadows.
Flu. You see that movement over there? You clock that?
Yeah, it's probably just the shadows, though. Isn't this is supposed to be vacant, unused?
Yeah. All right. Then let's go check it out to make sure. It's probably
Yes.
vacant.
Yes, you draw closer. You can see that this is definitely not fake. There are some beings there in the darkness. They have like these yellow glowy eyes that look at you, and you can see that when they move, they don't come out, but they're there. You cannot see how many there are, but it's more than one or two. They make kind of cheery noises, like you feel a sort of hunger coming from there, from the temple itself or from these creatures. You're not sure.
Flu. It's not totally abandoned. Not totally abandoned. Maybe you take care of that. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe you could do that since you're a big old Trandoshan. Look at those muscles.
Flew the ship here. Who flew the ship here?
I don't know who did.
Okay.
I think I did. That's why I insist on being called captain, because it's my ship.
Okay.
Just
sounds
don't
good.
look too close on the registry for the ship, because it says paid and void, probably.
I'm gonna. They're just moving about the figures.
Yeah,
going about their business.
they're staying inside. They're not moving out.
Well, I mean, they're certainly not gonna cause any problems for us. I'm gonna go ahead up and walk up to the entrance.
Yeah, you walk up to the entrance and you can see them a bit closer. They're like about the size of a large dog, I guess. They're very black and shadowy. Something is weird about the way they move. Like you imagine that they could move on their hind legs and look like humans, but they don't. They just move around like they're animals. You can see on their skin or fur, whatever it is, you can see these little electrical blasts like lightning playing over them, but it's only quickly, and they don't even seem to like that. They're slavering though. They've seen you coming. It's about half a dozen of them or even more, and they see you coming and they look at you, and you feel that they hunger for something, maybe your flesh or maybe something that goes deeper.
I'm just going to reach into my pouch, pull out some snacks, and throw them on the ground. Back away just a little bit and see if that sates their hunger.
They don't seem to care about those snacks. No, they look at you, or Peyton or Bill if they come closer.
Earl kind of steps up and says, "Hey, Flu, it looks like they're not that hungry. I think it's safe. Let's go on in."
All right, lead the way, bro.
Oh, no. Flu was interested. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're not. They're just milling about us, so they're just checking us out. It's never seen anything like this before, but I mean, it's kind of weird. I'm just gonna head right in.
Okay, you head right in, and one of these things, it jumps you and it bites at you, I guess. And I think you don't want to be bitten, right? I assume that.
I certainly don't want to be bitten, so I'm gonna swing at one with.
Okay.
On mechanics, I got my spanner. I've got my galactic spanner out.
Mhm.
I'm gonna swing.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you make a risk roll here. Now, for a risk roll, you will use a light die if one of the things you're skilled at comes into play here. And I think maybe since it's your spanner, you might use repair. I'm prepared to be very nice. We can also offer you a devil's bargain, which will come into effect whatever else happens, which will give you another light die. You roll a d6 for if you roll with if you get a devil's bargain. Anyone can offer it. You can offer it yourself. I can offer it. Rich can offer it. Steven can offer it. And in this case, I would offer as a devil's bargain that you hit whatever happens, you will lose that spanner. If you accept that, you don't have to. You can still roll one light die for your repair skill. So.
Yeah, I'm not going to accept the risk, but I will roll a dark die as well.
You don't have to roll that at the beginning. You can just roll the light die and see what comes out of it. Because if you're good at the light die, there's no reason for you right now to risk your life and mind.
I rolled a 2, so.
Okay. That's not very good. Just to explain how this works, 1 to 3 means that you fail. 4 to 5 means that you succeed, but there's a complication, and 6 means, yay, you succeed. Everything is fine. Now, what you can always do is, after you've rolled and seen your result and don't like it, you can say, hey, I'm going to risk my life and mine, because that's always fun, and take a dark die. And then you roll the light die and the dark die, both, and see what comes of that then. So how did that go, Scott?
I'm going to risk it. I'm going to roll the dark die.
Now you can roll the light die as well, again.
Yep. I got a 6 on the light die, 2 on the dark.
Nice. So. Okay, very good. So that is about the ideal outcome. You make it's perfect. You can tell me what that looks like when you hit with your spanner at that creature.
Yeah, the first one approaches, I guess, jumping up at me, and I swing, hit it right in the torso region, knocking it kind of sprawling over a couple of feet off, and the other ones, I guess, give us a little bit of a berth to get by. They're kind of cautiously still there. They're doing, I guess, whatever sniffing about, but unfortunately, the other one is too hurt to even get back up.
Yeah, some of them start sniffing at the hurt one, actually, like they're doing something, and that you can hear a whimper coming from the one that is hurt. But the other two, you haven't earned that kind of respect that Flu has. Now they will still try to get at you if you move closer.
So Roll is actually going to try and take advantage of the distraction that Flu provided to slip into the entrance past these creatures.
Okay, cool. I think at that point you will roll because you can roll a light die because you're skilled at sneaking.
Right. And does anyone have a devil's bargain?
I think devil's bargains are nice.
Is a devil's bargain potentially something as vague as you can make your way past these weird animals, but something deeper inside the temple will notice your approach? Is that a devil's bargain?
I'd like a bit more concrete, but
okay,
maybe we can
maybe
we can work with that. Maybe you can say, okay, you move past these creatures, but yeah, I like the idea that something notices you. Let's keep it vague. Okay.
What about something to make it a little bit more specific? What about something dark speaks to me? There's a dark voice that speaks to me that causes me to break out in a sweat. So that I'll take. That sounds delicious.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll roll that. And I got a 2 and a 3.
Oh wow! Do you want to risk your mind and life?
Yes. So I will roll with a dark die.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. And I got a 2 and a 3 on the light die and a 1 on the dark die.
Wow, that is horrible, but you can still, since the dark die is lower than the other two, you can add another dark die and roll again.
I'm going to add another dark die and roll again.
Yeah.
Okay, this time the dark die is the highest and it is a 3.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And everything else is lower.
Everything else is a 2, yes.
Wow. Maybe you should have taken the roll for your party link. So this is pretty horrible, actually. First of all, your ruin goes up by 1 because you've risked your life and mind, and that doesn't.
That dark voice that was coming down from within distracted me.
Yeah, that's probably it. There was a dark voice in your mind that I have to look at things. Oh yeah. And it is a different voice than the one that you usually hear. And it says, do you hate enough to come here? And while that's happening, these creatures, they will have, at that point, they will have attacked you and bitten you, but the wound itself, it's not that terrible. What's terrible is that suddenly, for some reason, you lose a memory, and you know that memory is dragged out of you. And I think it is a memory of come here. I think it is a memory of the time when you were really a big shot of a real triumph of you as a spy, of your spying career, and you realize that this feeling, this triumph, this happiness that you felt, that this just been torn from you, and it kind of hurts. You feel kind of hollow, and you also feel, and that's not entirely yours, but there is a hatred that rises inside of you. And I want to know from you, who do you hate so much? Who is that?
Well, right now I hate Flu the most because he was able to get through and I wasn't.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's the actually, yeah. It's Flu. So that is the condition you take. Mechanically, you will take a condition from your ruin going up by 1 point, and the condition is that you now feel this intense hatred of apparently Flu.
Okay. Do I take that? Yeah, yeah. So I just put that down in the notes section.
Yeah, just put it down in the notes section, right? That's
Is that equivalently how damage works in this game? Is you take conditions?
yes. No, it's damage, or mostly the damage works like your ruin just rises up. But you're still in a bad place. You're still surrounded by these creatures and they're slavering, and they seem to like your memories so much. And but at that point, Peyton, what do you do? Flu seems to have mastered these beasts quite readily, while Rill has tried to sneak past them, but that didn't really work that well there. They seem to track people not by seeing, or not even maybe by smell, but by something else.
I think I'm gonna like try to run past and grab Rill, and maybe we could just make a run for it. You know, sneaking don't work, but if we run fast enough, we'll be fine. So that's the plan. I mean, Rill's a little bit of a bodyguard, I'm not gonna lie, but you know, I'm helping him out, so it's, you know, it's a win-win.
Okay, so I'm guessing you're using your skill at fleeing.
I am, yeah.
Yes. Okay, and the devil's bargain I will offer you here is, let me think about that something. Yeah, the devil's bargain is that you will lose your bag of credits. You don't have to take it.
And if I accept the bargain, then I get
Then
passed,
you lose the,
but
yeah,
I lose
then
the credits.
that devil's bargain happens, whatever.
I mean, nobody here to pick them up. I can come back later. That's fine. Yeah, I'll do it. Okay. Me and Rill, we get through, and
yeah,
do you? Lighter.
Do you? You get 2 light dice.
Oh, that's what I get. I get 2 light dice out of that?
Yes. Yeah. You get 1 light die for being skilled at flee and 1 light die for the devil's bargain.
Okay. And then I roll 1 dark die if I choose?
You don't have to. You don't have to at the beginning. If the roll is bad, you can still say, okay, I'll take a dark die and go on rolling.
Okay. Then I'm going to just roll my 2 light dice.
Mm-hmm. And like Stephen did when he rolled again and again, and if his dark die hadn't been the highest die, then he could have rolled again with an additional dark die.
I see.
So at one point, it will be a lot of dark dice.
I got a 2 and a 6 on light dice.
Okay, then you tell me how that works.
Yeah, so I rush forward and I see Rill's struggling, and I kind of grab him by his waist there. He's a little heavier than me, but I muscle towards the door, heading towards Flu, cover 6 or whatever. And one of the things reaches out and claws at the pouch that's kind of slung low on a strap, and the strap starts to hold me back, but I got a little tearaway thing because I've been here. I've done this kind of thing before, but I have to lose my bag of credits, which means they're not getting paid.
Okay. And you have done it. You've conquered these dark creatures. They won't go further inside the temple than the first hall. You've crossed that. The hall itself that you've crossed, you haven't taken a lot of time looking at it because you were pretty much focused on the creatures, but it was mostly an entrance hall, right? It wasn't really big. And there is a ruined door that is the only way past you can actually see. And from that place, you can hear, I mean, really you always hear those voices in your head anyway. So you can hear that this voice, the dark voice that talked to you about the hatred that came from there. And I think it was Flu that you are following the voices that are calling, and there is a voice that comes from in there, and it almost sounds a bit like your mother calling to you, like come my child, and find your destiny.
It's
And
real
he-
or flu?
No, that's flu. That
Okay.
is flu. Real heard the hatred, your hatred strong enough voice. And I think Payton will hear a voice as well. And it almost sounds like that weird and scratchy voice of a sergeant in dress that comes from inside the temple for some reason, that says, "This is the way. Follow me." And that's when you cross into the deeper temple. I assume you've brought some light sources with you, because that would be weird if you hadn't. And I also think that this is a good point where we can take our first break. Let's say we come back at 5 past the hour. Okay? Cool. See you in a bit.
So just out of character, was that the first ring?
Yeah, that was the first ring.
Okay, cool.
What does that mean?
Trophy, the structure of trophy is that there are 5 rings that you go through. And yeah, that was the first one. You've mastered it. No, survived it. Just everybody's back. Very punctual. Just checking in. Everybody's doing okay? Cool. Sorry, I have to cough now and I'm done, hopefully. Yeah, okay, so you are standing at this entrance, and when you go through, you can hear from behind you that there is another ship landing outside. So maybe there are some people coming, but well, if they're coming, they're behind you, you have a head start, and they have to deal with these creatures. So should be fine. Maybe. Yeah, you can see before you is a large cave or cavity. It's not a cave, it's a large temple, but the temple is actually pretty hollow, and there is a large cavity, and you can see in the middle of it is a dome that it's higher in altitude from where you are, and between you and this dome there are lots of these columns that are sticking out of the ground. The ground floor is somewhere deeper beneath you, but there are these columns, and they are connected to each other. Like you can climb around on these column things. There is no clear path to the temple. But as I said, these columns are connected. Sometimes they are close together, and you can just climb from one to the other. Sometimes there are these arches that connect 2 of them together. But it's pretty confusing, and it's a large cavity, and your light won't go to the farthest walls. But there is a kind of an illumination coming from the dome, a dull, deep, dark red illumination that is permeating this whole cavern, but you cannot see the ceiling or the ground floor or the farthest walls from where you are. And perspective seems to be a bit skewed here, because while the temple is large, you don't remember it being as large as all that. But well, you're not architects or something like that, so maybe it's just a trick of the perspective, trick of the eye. That's possible. I mean, so what do you do? I mean, Peyton, I hope you drop Rill again, or keep
Yeah,
hold on
of
them.
course. I mean, I'm not afraid to hug the guy, but he probably wants free. So yeah.
I think Krill, kind of shakes himself off a little bit and kind of whispers, you hear him muttering a little bit to himself. And then he looks around, assesses the situation, and he picks up some rocks, that are scattered around the temple floor. And it's probably 4 or 5, and he tosses one onto a column. This is kind of a pathway, right?
Yeah.
So toss one onto a column. If it looks stable, he'll look at the other 2 and then step out onto it.
Mm-hmm.
If there's no issue at that point, he'll pick up that rock and he'll do the same thing to the next one. He'll toss a rock and then he'll step out.
That's actually a very clever way to get onto these columns, because when you step onto the first column, I mean, the rock you threw at it, it kind of bounced.
Oh, so it bounced off of the column?
Yeah, not like it bounced like it was too light or something, like you had tossed a lot lighter rock, and that's strange.
Oh. So I think he'll. So I'll toss it, and it seems like it's almost like it's floating a little bit. Like it lands, but it's way too
Mhm.
light. So
Yeah.
I'll gingerly step out to it and, see what that feels like.
It feels like you're losing weight, or like gravity is weird.
And it's
It's-
getting less and less, or
Yes,
just
like it's getting less, exactly.
oh. So then, I'll step back, and gravity returns to normal.
Yeah.
I tell them, I think it's important here that we move as quickly as possible. If you'll see, whenever you step out, you start to weigh less and less. And I think if you don't move quickly across these columns, you'll get stuck up against the ceiling. Can we look up and see the ceiling?
Now you can't really see the ceiling. I mean, there has to be one, but
But
it's
there's
not.
dim light, but we can't really see what's up there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
So I think I'll, toss another of these rocks to one of the further out columns, to see that it does the same thing, and then I'll start moving quickly from column to column.
Doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't.
Doesn't. It just lies there, like you would expect it to.
So that one looks safe. So I'll do that. So real quickly, I'll go out to the first one and then go to the second one that looks like it has normal weight.
Okay. Yeah. That is not a problem. You can traverse this lighter gravity quite easily, actually, going up to the second column, and there the gravity returns to normal. But you notice that, that there is a weird sense of vertigo as you go up there, like gravity isn't doing what it's supposed to. Like you can't trust it.
Okay.
What do the other two do as Rill is experimenting around with these rocks and gravity?
Aiden's been smirking this whole time. Hey, Flo, since you cleared out those dogs or whatever, listen, I'm pretty good with gravity. I could probably lead the way here, I think. Toss you a little rope or a cord or something. And then gravity and I are friendly. I have this ritual. Gravity holds no power. So I'll try to use that and see if I can traverse this without as many troubles as Rill is having.
Okay. To use a ritual, you roll a dark die.
Fun. Just a dark die?
Yeah, you can. We can offer you, of course,
The devil's bargain. I gotcha.
a devil's bargain if you want a light die, but you have to roll a dark die anyways, because it's a ritual. And as a devil's bargain, I would offer you. Yeah, gravity holds no power. It means that you can fall. Doesn't mean that you can float. So, I mean, it says there gravity. Oh, come on, where are you? Yeah, it means that you can fall off anything without being hurt. So that means that, yeah, devil's bargain would be that you will fall, that you will hop over these columns, and at a certain point you will fall. Won't hurt you, but it might separate you from the others and your goal. But it will separate you from the others.
Okay. And if I accept the devil's bargain, then I get a light die to roll.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. And then
but you will
if
fall
that light-
at some point. You
I'll
will
fall.
fall.
that doesn't really mean I don't get across. That sucks.
No, there are lots of columns. It's not only one way that will take you to the dome.
It's
You might
awfully
land.
early.
You might land on the lower column, but
I see. If you include dark die equal to a higher than highest light die, you count still trying to get this stuff in my head. I'm glancing at the Codex Dark.
Okay.
Dude.
Okay, if you roll the light die, if you accept the devil's bargain, that will come to pass, and you can get then to roll a light and a dark die. And if your light die is higher, you will succeed at the ritual and your ruin won't go up. But if the dark die is higher than is the highest and it's higher than your current ruin, then your ruin will go up. But it might still happen depending on how well you roll.
Okay.
Also, if you roll a light and a dark die, that gives you the option of if the light die is higher, it gives you the option that you can reroll with another dark die if you're not happy with the result.
Okay. I'll give a shot with a light and dark die then.
Okay, cool. So before you go, Flu, are you taking the court? Are you following Peyton?
I don't need this cord at all. Part of my training as a bounty hunter was in tracking through, odd terrains and whatnot. And I am 100% certain. I just need to run really fast, and before any of the weird gravity takes effect, I should be able to use my momentum to get over and through this. This
Okay.
isn't a problem at all. I got
Okay,
this.
so we'll just have Peyton roll for himself. Let's see what happens here with that roll.
Yeah, so what happened is I got a 3 and a 2,
And
which is a fail and a fail, and the dark is higher than the light, so I can't
no.
re-roll, right?
Right, and
So
your
it's like the
ruin
worst
goes.
possible. Yeah, the worst possible.
Yeah, it's the worst possible outcome, really.
Awesome.
And also, your ruin goes up by 1. Okay. Yeah, let me check conditions. I think. Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. I like that one. Okay, you just ignore it. I mean, you rush off of these columns, and with the light one, where the gravity is lower, you just jump, and I guess you come down in one of those where the gravity is actually not centered below you, but to the side, and you suddenly your vertigo hits pretty badly, and you stumble and you fall. Also, your ritual doesn't really work that well, which is kind of a bummer, because now you actually hurt yourself by falling, and this is mostly a fictional thing that you now have. I think maybe a twisted angle, but you won't be running very well. But what also happens is, as you fall, and there are some stones and there's some debris lying around, and as you fall, then suddenly this debris starts moving away from you. And now at odd times, your gravity powers seem to jump in at where you don't even want them to. And that's the condition you take. That stuff moves without you actually doing anything to make it move, but they do. You read that? Yeah, with each forceful move you make, something moves as well.
Weird.
Yeah. Okay, and now you're on one of the lower columns, and you lie some sort of adjacent to the others, like they are here and you are here. I mean, gravity holds you, but it's kind of strange, though. Okay, Flo, you were going just to, run over those columns, which is probably going to be fine.
Yeah, I mean, this nothing could go wrong.
No, whatever could go wrong, right?
Is there a
yeah.
devil's bargain?
Probably. I think what the devil's bargain is, if you do this, then you will. let's say, damn. Anybody else got any ideas for a devil's bargain?
What if you what if the sense of balance isn't the only thing that gets disturbed, it's also some of your other senses, like
Ooh.
maybe hearing or scent or something like that?
Oh, nice. Yeah, I think the idea that the sense of balance gets disturbed, like kind of like you have a hard time keeping your balance even on even ground after you just run over this. I like that. Is that okay?
So my equilibrium would be off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a bargain worth taking.
Okay, cool. So roll with 2 light dice.
I got a 3 and a 4 is my highest.
Okay, do you want to risk your life and mind for maybe getting a 6? Or do you want to take the 4? Because the 4 would be a success, even though some complication would happen.
I'm gonna risk it. And
Okay.
the dark die.
Mhm.
Okay, so my ruin goes up, and I got a 4 on the dark die.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, first of all, what happens is that the devil's bargain comes to pass. You rush over those columns, and some sort of, yeah, the gravity isn't normal here. And you will have seen this with Payton, where he is glued to the side of a column, and you have your sense of equilibrium. You constantly have to readjust yourself now, because your sense of equilibrium is pretty badly off. And I think now you can describe how you succeed at whatever you're trying to do. That will add the complication.
Yeah, I think with the equilibrium off, I actually seemingly make it across what seems like safely, but then when I get to where the gravity seems normal, I can't even find my footing. And the first step I take, I just tumble off the column, and I think I land on my my left side and just shatter my entire shoulder.
Oh, you don't have to describe the complication. That's my part. You can just
Ooh.
describe how you
I fall
succeed.
I fall off the final column right as I'm moving back into where gravity would be normal.
Okay, but I'm going to say you're not shattering your shoulder. You're tumbling down, and somehow more time must have passed than you thought was possible, because you fall onto a stormtrooper, actually, who has been here and who looks very disoriented. And I will go back to Rill now, because you were trying to traverse the columns as well, right?
That's right.
Okay, so you can see that Payton has stumbled a little, and now is glue lying on one of the columns, and you can see that Flu has just Flu again, of course, has just rushed past you. And I forgot Flu's condition. I'm sorry. Let me just go back there, right? Because let's see what we do here. I think we'll go with that one. Oh, I like that one better. Do you have written down the twisted angle? Hate for the Flu. And yeah, Flu, you feel this fear welling up in you as you come down there. As you fall, your equilibrium is off, and suddenly there's the stormtrooper, and there's this unreasonable fear welling up strongly in you. And what are you afraid of, really? Here, what do you think makes you so scared?
Well, it's such a tight and such a small area I'm in. It feels like there's the walls wherever they are. They're clearly right up against me, and they're just tightening in on me, and I'm trapped here. I don't understand what's. It was such a big room before, and now it's so small.
It might look big, but it's really small. Yeah, walls are closing in. Okay, your condition then is claustrophobia. Lovely, thank you. Back to Rill. Yeah. So what do you do?
Yeah. So I have a mechanical question.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm not very good. So I don't have anything like run fast or anything like that. What if you don't have a skill that applies? I think I can work with this, but I'm not sure. You get a die for having a skill that applies. If you don't have a skill, you can't do anything?
Oh, you can risk your life and mind and take a dark die, or you can ask for a devil's bargain and get a light die. But if you're willing to do neither or no, then you just stand there and all undecided and won't move forward.
Okay.
That's true.
So I think in this case, I need to show that I'm not the weakest one here. So I think Payton has, encountered one of those columns that has the sideway gravity. And that's a good discovery. But I think he had also attached a rope that for Flu, but Flu wasn't taking advantage of that. So I'm going to work my way over to try to help Payton off of his sideways gravity thing. But I'm going to use my sneaky way of doing it, of throwing the rocks out one at a time to try to find safe paths. And if I can't, if something happens where the gravity goes sideways and would push me off, I'm trying to find a safe path, with landing pads where there's normal gravity like I have so far. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So,
So I think you want to have a devil's bargain, right?
yeah, sure.
Okay. So I think what your devil's bargain would be, whatever is the outcome, you will land next to Payton and you will need his help. It's the devil's bargain.
Yeah, so I'll take that. I think that's
Okay.
worth it. So
Cool.
I'll roll 2 dice.
You can roll one die. You get to roll one light die. That
Uh-huh.
for the devil's bargain. You don't need to roll anything else.
Don't I also get a die for trying to do this the sneaky way?
Is that sneaky?
It is
Okay.
tricky.
Okay.
It depends what the definition of sneaky is.
Oh, sneaking kind of implies that
hiding?
you're trying to use stealth and stuff like that. So
Okay. So with 1 die, I rolled a 3.
Okay.
So I will take a dark die
Mhm.
and roll that. And I rolled a 3 on the dark die and a 6 on the light die.
Oh, okay, that works perfectly. You come up to next to Payton, and you will need his help getting on, but this otherwise, you can describe how this works so perfectly.
And I kind of work my way over there and I say, hey, boss, I think I can help us get across, or we can work together to get across. And I'll kind of grab that rope and kind of pull you over to this normal gravity, as normal as it gets here. I say, I think if we work together, we can probably get all the way across. And, I really appreciate your help back there.
Yeah. This is good. It's a good plan. I like this, Rill. Let's do your plan to do that, to get across.
Okay. So I guess you worked your way across to where Flu is and that stormtrooper that you landed on.
Flew.
Yeah, him again. He's found that stormtrooper, and that stormtrooper is trying to stand up. He's kind of lost his blaster, I guess, and he's standing there and he's shaking and he's clearly disoriented. You're under arrest, all of you. This is the Empire's property. You're trespassing. Yes? Surrender? Now? you weird things.
How
Where
are
are
you?
you gonna take us? Sorry, go ahead. Flu's got this. Sorry.
No, that's a good question. I like that. Go.
I am a trained stormtrooper of the Empire. I can take all of you.
Think that's wise. You seem like you're in some trouble here, buddy. Maybe we work together and get out of here.
Oh, my group is over there.
You sure about that?
Yes. Surrender.
Nah. I think maybe we just get out of here. We gotta go deeper to get out. See? It'll be fine.
Yeah, we're going deeper. That's yes, exactly. I am going to you are going to lead me to the thing, the
Mhm.
Sith
Mhm.
thing.
Mhm.
Yes, and I will take it for the Emperor because he will then reward me, and maybe you as well, but probably not because you're not human, but
Yeah, sure.
yes, I will. Ha, you will. You're my prisoners now. I am, yes.
Okay. That's fine. You should lead us so that we don't, not know where to go and get lost.
Yes. We should go. You lead. You lead. He points at you, Payne. You lead. You look like a fellow who can lead.
All right. Glance over to Flu. As soon as you get the drop on him, take care of our problem here. Look. And,
Captain.
Okay, you can see ahead of you where the gravity is more normal and these weird columns. There is a sort of a hill, I guess, where you can go up at the dome. It's pretty steep, but you can climb the way up. There's no clear path or anything, but that shouldn't be too hard, I guess. Maybe. Who knows?
okay. Well, that's
What you will also notice is that the stormtrooper is pointed out at the columns, and you didn't see anybody at first, but there's movement among the columns, and that there probably are more stormtroopers that are actually kind of there. They seem to have lost contact with each other, though. But you can hear their voices calling through the hall. There are very weird echoes.
Does our stormtrooper friend have a blaster?
No, he's lost his blaster.
So I hear that we're going up the. I think Merle's going to just shadow the stormtrooper, and give the other two a glance that I'll take care of this.
Yeah, that stormtrooper isn't really that alert. He's kind of looking around and he's closely paying and says, "Can you hear that? Do you hear somebody call my name?"
Yeah, that's normal here, so it's okay.
Oh, yeah.
You'll get used to it.
Okay. Oh, very well.
So, boss, where are we going?
Boss.
Yeah. We got to go deeper to get out. So let's see if we can make our way through the others and see if we can get into where the good stuff is. Yeah. So I'll try to pick a way forward that takes us deeper inside.
Okay. As you pick your way, you can hear from somewhere behind you. There's this voice. As I said, the echoes are weird. As a clear male authoritative voice that says, Payton Void, you are under arrest for smuggling and other crimes against the Empire. Stand down, lie down, and on your face with your hands behind your head. I mean, you've heard that before, I assume.
Yeah.
And the
see if I
others
could-
can hear it as well. It's not in your head.
Do I see?
Did you know
Where
you were
this-
being followed?
I mean, I'm always being followed. I'm a popular guy. We should get out of here. Yeah. Is there a way out? Like, do I see a way to try to run past, run forward, get
Yeah,
deeper?
forward. Get deeper forward up the hill. That would be the way past. I mean, you're pretty exposed on that
Okay.
hill.
Yeah,
though.
I'm gonna take off.
Okay, I'm gonna take off. So I guess you're running again, and yeah, that is.
Oh yeah, and I've got a bum ankle. Dang it.
Yeah, that's pretty. I think you can still use fleeing, but I will give you a dark die for the fact that you have a busted ankle.
Okay.
Ankle, not ankle.
All right. Anyone want to offer a devil's bargain to get me another light die here?
Devil's bargain might just be that somebody down there. No, devil's bargain would be that stormtrooper is coming with you.
Yeah, I'll accept that.
Okay. He just run after you because you're the only human adjacent being, and he'll just glom onto you.
Sounds good. All right. Rolling a dark die and 2 lights. Here we go. Oh yeah, nice. I got a 6 on the light die.
Wow. Well done.
Sweet. Just charge up that hill and twisted ankle smarts, but I push on. I got enough cybernetics where I can like turn off pain receptors sometimes, you know. It's a little
Cool.
twitchy.
That stormtrooper, suddenly the other two of you, suddenly Payton starts running, and that stormtrooper is after him like a flash, like he's oh my gosh, he has to. What do you do? I mean, you can still attack him.
Yeah, and I'm yelling like, come on guys, this way, this way.
Yeah, I'll go after him.
I'm going to do
Okay.
my best to walk in a straight line and follow them properly.
Okay.
Can't really tell which way is straight as I'm walking.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, as you walk on, Rill, I think, let me look at you. Oh yeah. You can just feel that there is somebody thinking about you and about the bounty that you would bring, and about how much they would want to have that. That's one of those troopers down in the columns, but you're pretty sure that that there's at least one guy who's after you, not the others, but after especially you.
Okay.
You can see him. He's not that far away. He's struggling, but he or she, I mean, there are female stormtroopers, might make it. That might be a problem.
So I'm going to hang back while Payton and the stormtrooper run ahead. And since I know this guy is after me, I've got a strong feeling. My feelings have worked out in the past. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip to the side of the cavern where I have a little bit of cover. And as he's jumping from column to column, my pursuer, I'm going to wait until the right time, and I'm going to time a throw at him. And I'm going to throw a rock at him and try and knock him off balance into a bad path.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, that's backstabbing for sure. Cool.
And do you have a devil's bargain?
Yeah, devil's bargain would be that you attract attention by
Okay.
this from the other people that are down there.
I think I'll
From-
do that. Yeah. So I'll roll the 2 light die.
Yeah, or maybe I have a better devil's bargain. Sorry. Devil's bargain would be that Flu would see what you're doing.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's still, it's still worth it, but
Yeah,
Flu.
sure.
So I rolled a 6 and a 4 on my 2
Okay,
dice.
very nice. Okay, so you hit the. Now you can describe what happens actually.
Oh yeah, okay, this is great. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw this and time this just well. Time it just right to cause him to just cause him to fall off. And what happens is he jumps onto a column. It's one of the last columns just before he's there, and he thinks he has us. And it's one of those columns that has a very light gravity, and he shoots up to a very high height, and the rock catches him and pushes him off, and he falls and slams. Whenever he gets to the normal level, he falls and he slams and crumples and doesn't get up. And so I actually walk over and I start taking his armor off of him, and I put his armor on.
Okay.
But of course, Flu sees me do this.
Mm.
So I'm kind of camouflaging myself a little bit to fit in with the troopers, except Flu knows.
Yeah, Flu knows who you are and who the other troopers might be. Also, I think that this is a bit. I mean, this guy died in a fall, and it is a bit squelchy. That armor, taking it off. I want I want you to make a rule and roll for that. For
Oh, okay,
taking off the armor of somebody who just died.
And that is a dark die?
A dark die. That's a dark die. You want
Okay.
to roll low on these.
I rolled a 1.
Yeah, that's good. You don't mind taking armors off bad people. I mean, whatever, right?
I've been in dirtier places. It's fine. I scoop some of the, goo out of the helmet, and it doesn't fit right. There's like a gap between the armor and the helmet, but yeah.
Yeah,
It'll be good.
but it'll be okay. It'll be fine. Okay. So, Flu, let's see what you're doing. Like Peyton is racing up. Bill is taking care of one of the stormtroopers who is. You don't even know exactly why, because that guy hasn't been yelling. But also, oh yeah, you can hear you can see one of the troopers has gone over to some sort of the side, and he's sideways, but that might be normal, I guess, because equilibrium isn't what it used to be. And you can see that he is kind of waving and shouting something about a bounty to be made on all those who would enter the temple, would trespass in this temple. It's a pretty good bounty that he's offering.
Yeah, I'll take. I can't resist myself. I mean, I'd still be doing the good work of collecting bounties if the guild would have me. So here's an opportunity to get some off guild work. No risks. How would they know? This is a Sith Temple. I'm gonna approach and ask for the fob.
Okay. I think that stormtrooper, that weird upside down stormtrooper, is kind of handing you something that might be a fob or might be a rock. You're not too sure about it, but what it is actually is it's a fob with your identification on it that says Flu and the rest I won't try to pronounce. And that stormtrooper seems to be very very happy to hand you the fob and then try to says, okay, gotcha.
No, I brought myself. I caught myself. This is my bounty.
That's not how it works, buddy. And he doesn't sound like a stormtrooper. They all have the same kind of way they are talking. He sounds more like that Quarren guy you knew in the guild. And that can't be right, because first of all, Quarren don't fit into the stormtrooper's helmet, but there are some tentacles coming out of that helmet, but Quarren aren't stormtroopers. That's not possible. Something is very wrong here.
What are you doing? I thought you trusted me. You said you wouldn't hand out fobs for me. How could you turn on me like this?
Well, you messed up. That's how. You're just a mess from top to bottom, kid. You're in for it now.
I can't be taken in, and I'm going to try to force choke him.
Oh, nice. Do that. Yay, go and force choke somebody.
All right, so for the rituals, is that dark die?
Yeah, that's a dark die, yeah.
Is there a devil's bargain along with the dark die?
Devil's bargain along with the dark die. I can't think of anything really. Anybody else? Any idea?
What if the devil's bargain is you can tell from the fob that there's other fobs out there tracking you?
Yeah, okay.
I'll accept that bargain for sure.
Cool.
I got a 2 and a 1.
Oh wow. Which is the higher one?
The devil's bargain die.
Oh,
So,
good. Then you can roll again with another dark die. If you want
we are going to do that.
Might be a good idea.
And I got a 6, 4, 4, and the 6 is on the dark die.
Oh wow. Okay, so your ruin is going to go up. And yeah, tell me, how do you force choke this guy?
His tentacles wrap around his neck, and I use those to choke him. And I say, "You can't take me, and you made a promise. It is not acceptable to go back on a promise to a mentee like me."
Yeah, okay. And then he just kind of keels over and dies, and you realize that there were no tentacles. That was just something. But you also realize that as you were doing the force choking, I have to move my hand into position, force choking thing, that there's lightning kind of crackling along your skin as you do that.
That's not
And that's
normal.
that's not normal. That's your condition. So.
And then I will continue on. But I'm being tracked, apparently.
Yeah, you are. You can see there are others out there, and they're moving weirdly. You have the feeling that something is not right with these stormtroopers. I mean, that becomes obvious to, I think, all of you, that these guys aren't. How did they get here so quickly anyway? Okay, so let's see where we are at. I think everybody has been very successful with their roles, right? Peyton, you are up the hill with the stormtrooper that has followed you up, and as you're up there, he will start talking to you and say, "Hey, you know what, buddy? Let's to just the two of you make a pact, yeah, right? We go in, we take whatever's in there, and just we and the other two, these aliens, we're just they're not worthy. They can be. They're the people like that. That's not they're not worthy.
So you're saying that before when I was going to have 3 shares, now it's just 2 shares. That's what you're saying. Like the math works out for me.
Yeah.
If you
yeah.
hear me, buddy. So
Exactly. That's. I mean, like, you don't know these guys, right? They're just.
I mean, I
aliens.
know them, but I'm amenable. Is what I'm saying. Amenable.
Yeah. Let's see what we can do to work against them. Yeah.
Sure. I mean, I figure we get there. It's probably going to be a lot of weapons, really good stuff like lightsabers, and maybe planet killing weapons. I figure there's all that in there. Let's just go on, and once we get all the good stuff, then we take whatever we want.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I might even get a promotion out of this.
You might, or maybe you don't even need to go back. We just run off and spend our loot and live free and easy. Yeah.
Free and no, not that. No.
So
We
you
need
know what?
power.
Once we split it up, you do whatever you want. Whatever you
power.
want.
I want power.
Yeah.
And you want power?
Yeah, of course. Who doesn't?
Yeah.
Who doesn't want
Yeah.
some power?
Right. Not free and easy. Let's show all of them. Let's make Darth Vader kneel.
I mean, I figure it's real. I heard lots of rumors. I'm really just trying to buy my way into a noble family, I got my eye on a really nice ones, like, Nabooans. You ever heard those guys? They got pretty posh. Yeah?
Pain.
It's nice.
Pain.
Yeah.
You have a little ambition.
It's a lot of ambition in a noble family.
Pay your way now. You must rule them. Or rule or be ruled.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. All right, yeah. Well, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
I think, you know what? I think you're not ready for this. I think you're weak, Peyton.
Hold on. No. I'm not weak. I'm good. This is good. We're just
weak. Your mind is weak. And she tries to push you down. I think,
man.
Yeah. This is, and there's something very weird about that stormtrooper, because that voice doesn't sound like a stormtrooper's voice. It sounded, the whole time he sounded like a guy, and suddenly he sounds like a deep, rough-voiced woman.
Oh, man. The crazy head games of this place. Okay. Do I have to beat this stormtrooper down? Is that what's happening here?
What do you want to do?
I mean, I don't want to beat this stormtrooper down because he's probably trained in combat, and I'm not exactly trained in combat. Can I find my buddies? Like, maybe I get some help? Flu?
Okay.
Flu? Rill?
I think Rill is closer to you. And Rill, you can see that they are conspiring, I guess. The stormtrooper with Payne, like they're whispering with each other.
Yeah.
But at least that's not Flu.
So I'm going to walk up, as I'm coming.
Mm-hmm.
I see Peyton, and I see the two of them talking. And I put my helmet on, my new helmet.
Oh, yeah, right.
And I think as I walk up, I hear the argument get a little bit more heated, right? It's a little bit more, and I think Peyton says, no. And I'm just going to stab this guy in the back.
Oh,
I'm going to go
wow.
through, I'm going to go like under the corner of his armor.
Mm-hmm.
I told the boss man I'd take care of this. I'm just
gonna, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So, I think backstabbing applies.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Do you have a devil's bargain?
Devil's bargain would be in this case that you lose the knife you're stabbing with.
Ah, I see. Yeah, that's probably worth it. So I have a question. Could a devil's bargain be added later?
No,
Okay, it has
No,
to be
it
at the initial die roll.
has to be at the initial time. Yeah, I think, yeah.
I'm gonna roll, and I got a 4 and a 2.
4 is that both light dice. Okay.
Yeah. And
So you're gonna take that?
I think I'm gonna take that.
Okay.
So I'll lose the knife.
Yeah.
But in him,
Mhm.
and he's gonna collapse, or she's going to collapse.
Mhm. And I'll add the complication here.
Yeah.
That point, because you're stabbing your knife into this, and suddenly there is just an empty armor that falls down, and it's not even stormtrooper armor. Looks like not even clone trooper. It looks old, really old. And so does your knife. And you can roll ruin by your expression, Payton. And you can do it as well, Rill, because you're
Man. What does roll ruin mean? Does that mean you roll a single
that means
D6?
you roll a single dark die. I mean, you can roll a light die. It doesn't matter. It's a dark die anyway.
So
yeah,
I
that
rolled a
was
6.
confusing. Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Your roll goes up then.
Okay.
Because that was a bit too much maybe for your poor mind.
So I rolled a 3 and I have a ruin of 3. So does it stay the same because you have to roll higher? Is that right?
Yeah. You're surprised, but it doesn't really that. That's it's weird, but
that's terrible.
That's not that weird, right? Okay.
This was my knife, and now it's not.
No, it's not. Now it's gone. Right.
Oh.
And your condition. Oh. Let's say did one of you had the whole thing with the forceful moves, but I think that was that was Payton, right? When you make a forceful move, then something else moves. Who was that?
That was Flu.
That was you, right?
Yeah, Flu.
That was Flu?
Yeah, Flu had the weird forceful move. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I fell down and twisted my ankle.
Yeah, I think that things moved around you.
The gravity stuff.
Yeah, the gravity stuff.
Oh, okay.
That was you, Payne.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
sure.
it was you.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Weird stuff.
Okay, so I think what happens to you, Aurel, is I mean you've made that knife thrust, right? And usually whenever you make a knife thrust, there's something that doesn't really work right, that your body doesn't really obey your commands, but it did. This time it did. You move perfectly. Your every move you make is so precise. You never thought that was possible. You feel kind of almost empowered by this, but it's also very weird to realize that all the time before your body wasn't really moving correctly, and now it does. Now you've learned, kind of like this like you've been shown.
Would that be like an overconfident killer?
No, your body just obeys your commands more precisely.
Body is more precise. Okay.
Yes. I mean, that's kind of distracting actually, because everything is so precise and just everything is, that's weird. And also your knife fell apart.
Right.
Because of age. And then there is Flu, who's rejoining you, I guess, or is that what you're doing, Flu?
Yeah, I'm gonna approach them.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this armor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You're the one who had this thesis about the Sith, right?
Real is.
Real.
Oh, really? So, yeah. So you might recognize that this is a sort of temple guard armor thing of the Sith.
Ooh. I think so. Real looks at it and he kind of leans over and he picks up the armor for a second, and you can see he's contemplating, should I put this armor on instead? And then he kind of, I think, tucks a piece away because I imagine that it has Sith writing or Sith something,
Yeah,
symbols on the
absolutely.
inside.
He'll
He'll kind of
has
tuck it away,
Sith runes
for
on it.
safekeeping.
Yeah, sure.
Are you taking that treasure for yourself?
And I lean over and I pick up another piece of the the guard's armor. I toss it at him. Here, take it.
Fair. We should be sharing the treasure. Sith armor probably go for a good amount on the black market.
Yeah. I mean, you could get it if you can get a buyer, which means you guys probably should keep me around. So we have buyers.
Okay, so I'm guessing you're gathering up the rest of the what's viable of the Sith armor. Who takes the helmet?
I'll take the helmet. I'm going to put it right on.
Okay.
I got to disguise myself in case any of these trackers get closer.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that it actually fits because you have your skull isn't actually like human, but it fits rather perfectly. Like maybe, those old Sith, maybe they weren't so keen on those whole human bullshit like the stormtroopers. Maybe there were some Trandoshan's in there, which makes sense, right? Because being so hunters, that being
They will
hunters
have
like that.
some competence among their numbers.
And seeing that we're 1 past the hour, I think it's time for a second break. Let's meet again at 10 past.
Okay.
I think Zoom is trying to confuse me. It rearranges the order of where people are. No, it doesn't.
No, it does. It at least while people are, if there's no video, it kind of shunts it to the side, and sometimes it'll recycle. It's weird.
I think it comes back in related to the order people turn their cameras back on.
Yeah, I think so too. But it's still kind of a. What?
It is
Who are you?
disorienting, and I wish that weren't the way it worked.
I have to
What
admit,
do-
Google Hangouts worked great. I've seen Zoom, and I've seen Skype, and I've seen WebEx
Jitsi,
And StreamYard.
StreamYard.
StreamYard works fine, but StreamYard, you know, leaves a lot of what's the right word? Real estate on the screen, where I'm looking at a much smaller person. I like Zoom because I can see everyone.
Yeah,
However,
that's
Zoom's,
a good point.
you know, a feed, right? StreamYard is free.
Yeah, StreamYard is free, but it cuts off at least the last time I gave up on it when it cut off routinely at 2 hours. I just
Ooh.
said this
Oh,
is
wow.
unacceptable.
And
I think
how much
I think
is Zoom?
Oh,
Sorry.
it's like 15 a month.
Oh, okay.
Dollars, American dollars. Yes, it is a lot. I wish it were not so expensive.
I think StreamYard is free for the first 20 hours a month.
That's right. StreamYard started charging. That's right. I forgot about that.
And I mean, I think I'm going to run on StreamYard for my later sessions, but there are only 4 of these, and 4 times 3 is 12. That should be fine. So yeah, but okay. Let's get back in, because I seem to remember that, Rich, you had a hard.
No, I do not. I don't have
you
a
do
hard
not.
stop. I'm good.
Okay, cool. Then yeah, but we're closing in on the final finish line. Finish line? Is that how you say it? Probably not, but who cares? You know what I mean, hopefully. So, sorry for babbling. So to where are you? I'm sorry, I'm moving across tabs a lot and looking at things and trying to find out what is going on. Oh, we have a new picture of Rail. Perspective. Nice. Okay, sorry. So you are at the summit, I think, of the dome, and you can see up there is a building which is probably the temple proper. It is oh, I see. It's not that large. It's not a small building, but it's not huge like this temple outside. Also, this thing inside here is bigger on the inside anyway. But yeah, you're standing at a sort of I guess, yeah, there is a platform at the summit is the right word for at the top of the mountain, right? The top of the hill. Yeah, okay, cool. Sorry. At the summit, and there are some columns going up, but there are regular columns that you use to support a roof. In that case, it's probably they are probably only there to be decorative. There are runes on them. There's writing on them. There are pictures, kind of faded pictures on them, and you can see that they surround this temple proper, which is also there are just a line of columns, and then there is a roof above it, but it's dark inside this kind of building. And I guess you approach, and as you do so, you start to sense, first of all, you start to really feel the force moving, like you can feel the life force in the other people around here. You can especially feel through this hateful presence near you, and through you can feel those two. They are too close to you. Everything is too close to you, really, but and Payton, you can also feel these two. And there is something else besides the three of you. It's not life force, more like the opposite almost. But the force here is so strong that if you, at any point here, if you want to, you can take another dark side power. Your ruin will go up. You won't take a condition, but your ruin will go up if you take another dark side power to use that. That is possible. And you can also acquire force lightning if you really want that. That's possible as well. You can feel it, like if there's something inside of you, like coming awake and connecting. I mean, you all have force powers, and most of you have tried to use them already, but using them here, that would be so easy. Would be so easy.
I think I will take the force lightning.
Okay.
That plays into my one condition.
Okay. And seeing that you have now a ruin 5, you can reduce your ruin. I will explain that, how that works. If you work with the dark side of the force, if you give into it, if you give it something, if you sacrifice something of yours, if you kind of interfere with one of the other tools, either use of the force or their plans or whatever, then you can roll a dark die, and that's a reduction roll. And if you roll lower in your current ruin, then your ruin goes down. So because if you're at 6 ruin, then you are one with the dark side of the force, which is not all that you don't have control. That's the problem. You'll just become one with the dark side of the force. Yay, but you won't be you anymore. Okay, so that explained. As I've said, there is something else on this platform, and it's kind of starting to move the dust around you, like there is sort of a storm or something coming for you. And you can see that from the hillside, there are kind of rocks and stones starting to roll uphill towards you. This whatever it is, it's starting to kick off a storm just to keep you from entering the temple. That you have the feeling that whatever it is, it doesn't want you there. It hates you, it fears you, it's angry at you, and doesn't want you to get into the temple. You're not worthy. Or are you?
Getting close, guys. I can feel it.
And I just run off away from these rocks.
Okay, you
I'm tired of all the hate.
into the temple, or
And those rocks are probably tracking me.
probably. So are you running into the temple, or are you just running off into the night?
I'm going to run into the temple.
Okay. How are you doing this? Because there is this kind of storm of force and gravity and moving things between you and there. And I mean, you can try to take on this, whatever this is, that's moving them. And there is sort of an intelligence there. But I have to tell you, if you will try, you will just fail. It's too strong. You can still try, but it will rip you apart. And I'm saying this here, rules-wise, this is a monstrosity, and you can try to escape monstrosities or trick them or do something, but you cannot face them and live. That's not possible. But you can try to get to avoid them or trick them or get past them. Anything goes, but kill them, you can't kill them.
So we just feel the monstrosity, but we don't see it.
Not really, no. It's not. It's more of a disembodied presence.
I'm gonna allow the monstrosity into the voices in my head, and I'm going to speak with it and say, "Real, stop him. He's not to be trusted. He hates us all. He hates all things like us." And I'm trying to do a reduction roll as well.
Oh, wow, okay. I think you're trying to backstab Rill, though, by sicking the monstrosity at him. So I would ask you to roll for backstabbing, and I would also tell you to, yeah, I mean, by trying to contact this thing, you are risking your mind. So go ahead and roll these 2 dice, and if that goes well, or if it goes at all, then you can roll your reduction die. But if you roll a 6 now, then that's it.
All right, so I'm rolling 2 light die. Is that right?
No, you roll 1 dark and 1 light die.
That's what I thought. Yeah. So
Yeah.
let's
Sorry.
roll. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, I got it. I actually got a 6 on the light die and a 5 on the dark die. So
Well,
so
you're close.
so close.
Yeah. But it works. It works perfectly. The voice will totally accept what you're saying. Rel is the bad one, not you. It will let it pass. You can roll your reduction die. It's a dark die.
Shit.
What did you roll?
A 6.
That doesn't matter. Your ruin won't go up from a reduction.
Oh,
die
that's
roll.
right, because it's a reduction roll. It's not a ruin roll.
It's a
That's
reduction roll. It
Yeah,
doesn't
so-
go up.
right.
Yeah,
So-
it's weird. I mean, I've seen 3 reduction rolls in my trophy games lately, and every time it was a 6. I don't know why that is.
roll for your
What-
party hates
What's
reduction.
the
roll.
what does
No.
the roll do if it's not going to cause your ruin to go up? Does it mean
It causes your ruin to go down.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's why you do it.
Reduction,
Try
like
to
reducing it.
get
Duh.
away
Okay.
from the 5, because 5 means 1 roll, 1 dark die
Right.
out 6.
So it won't make
that's
it. It's the reduction roll means you. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But if you roll a 6 on the reduction roll, it doesn't matter. It
Right
doesn't-
there in the name, but I didn't get it. Okay.
Yeah, only the ruin roll increases ruin. So.
Yeah. Exactly. But any risk roll where you have a dark die, if the dark die is the highest, counts as a ruin roll. So that means if your dark die on a risk roll is higher than your ruin, then it goes up, which is what has happened here. We haven't had lots of real ruin rolls. Okay, now, Flu, you have whispered to the voice in the wind and run past it. It lets you pass, but it will redouble its efforts on poor Rill, and you will sense that you're the target. I mean, even if you haven't overheard what Flu was saying to it, you haven't, but you probably can add 1 + 1 and arrive at Flu is bad.
Right. So I think as Flu takes off running,
Mhm.
I'm gonna pull that piece of Sith armor out of my pack,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna whip it at his feet, trying to make it. Oh no, I take that back. I'm gonna pick up one of those rocks because the rocks are rolling uphill,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna throw the rock at his feet to see if I can make him tumble.
Mhm. Okay.
This is another reduction roll, right?
Okay. Okay.
And this is sabotaging my compatriots.
Mhm.
And I want him to stumble into the rocks that are rolling uphill. That's what I'm
Okay. 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 So I will come back to that because
Okay.
I want Scott to be here for anything that could actually compromise or really hinder or injure his character. I want his consent that this is what
All right,
could
no
happen.
problem.
And I will go to Peyton. What are you doing while these other 2 are trying to, be nice to each other, I guess?
I mean, I don't think they're being that nice.
Well, I mean, I think you can feel in the force, you can feel the fear coming of Flu and the hate coming of Rill. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah. So I think I'm just gonna let them deal with their own issues and just kind of be feeding and get past the rocks and see if I can get to the good stuff. We can always work this out later. I've had trouble like this before, and
Mhm.
it happens.
So what you're rolling with? What does that look like?
Yeah, there's a part of me that really wants to use my new force healing.
Yeah, I
think-
mean the twisted ankle is really going to mess up the whole I'm moving quickly across the platform, right?
Yeah. I think unfortunately Flu's the biggest of us all. He can handle it. So I want to see if I can use my new force healing and
Okay.
take it's not a lot. Just a little bit. He's huge. It's fine.
It's true. He's Trandoshan. They have lots of life force.
So much life. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna try to take a little bit from him.
Okay.
Heal my
very
ankle
cool.
and then run on.
Okay. Let's see that the ritual first, please. A devil's bargain I would offer is that Flu realizes what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Mhm.
And then the fact that I'm using a ritual is automatically a dark die, or
Yeah.
it's a
Exactly.
okay. So I'm rolling a dark and a light because of the
Yeah.
devil's bargain. Okay,
Exactly.
that is a fail, and the dark is higher than the light, so I just failed.
What were the numbers, please?
Doing a 1.
Wow.
A 2 on the
okay.
dark, a 1 on the light.
Oh, damn. That's not too good. Okay. So good news. Your rule won't go up. Great. And so you try to siphon the life force of Flu. He's been in contact with this monstrosity, this force vortex, and you're trying to siphon the life of that. That really is not. That was not a very good idea because it doesn't have a lot of life force, and you can feel as you take in this not life force, you can feel it permeating your skin, and like it's kind of rusting your implants, and you feel like you're aging a lot, a little at least. You know,
That's cool.
that effect when Palpatine used his force lightning and gave too much of his life force into it. It's a bit like that. So you're, well, at least the vortex doesn't bother to eat you up right now. I mean, it's still attacking you, but it's not specifically attacking you. And Flo, you notice that the pain tried to do something to you, but didn't work out that well. So from what he looks like, I mean, it's pretty obvious that that something went very wrong. And we'll go back to Rill now, who wanted to throw rocks at you, I think.
Yes, so I was going to try and whip a rock at his legs, at Flu's legs, to make him trip into the rocks that were coming up.
Mhm.
So it looked like, one of the rocks just got ahead of the others.
Okay. I mean, you've made it across to the temple, but you can't trip at the entrance. Is that okay with you, Scott? If that's what would happen if he rolled well. I mean, he could also totally fail, right? But
He doesn't have a chance against me.
No, you're bigger and prettier and whatever. Rill, yeah, what do you roll? I think you want to roll with backstabbing again, right?
Yes, with backstabbing.
Okay.
Is there a devil's bargain?
Is there a devil's bargain? I don't know at this point. I mean, I have a devil's bargain for you. You could use, you could try to use the vortex's powers a little, like you're using their rocks, like use their power. But if that would, I think that would put the vortex's voice in your head. Like,
I have almost like a possession, or almost like
yeah, like you would have memories suddenly of being here and being betrayed, and you would have a hard time realizing what's what. You want that?
I think that sounds like a benefit. That sounds great.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You
So
can
I'll roll that.
Yeah.
So I got snake eyes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I will roll
That's,
with it.
do you want to, with a
I
dark
think
die?
this is important, and
Yeah.
we're getting close to the end. So I'm going to roll with a dark die and
Yeah.
see how fate
Yeah.
deals with me.
Yeah.
I rolled a 2 and a 3 on the light die and a 1 on the dark die.
You can take another dark die and roll again.
I can. So if I end up with a higher on the dark die, then game over, right?
Oh, no, it has to be 6 on the dark die. Your rune only goes up if you roll higher.
Oh, okay. You roll higher than the ruin that you have today.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Let's see. Okay. So I rolled a 5 on the light die and a 5 on the dark die.
Okay, cool. So you can't roll again, but you have a 5, which is nice. So what happens is, first of all, you connect with the vortex and you kind of remember being here before, being stabbed by something, becoming one in despair and hate and fear. But also you succeed at throwing that rock. What does that look like? And then I will describe the complication that also happens.
And all that looks like is the rocks are rolling up the hill, and I toss one of the rocks below it. I toss one of the rocks, and it causes Flu to trip, and the other rocks get closer to where he is. So I don't know that I can narrate that they're on top of him, but he's in danger from those rocks that have been rolling up the hill now.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The complication for you is here that you've kind of neglected that you're a target of the rocks as well. And I think those rocks will hit you and you will take some damage. That is mostly narrative damage, but you won't be able to use your, I think your right arm, because that no more throwing rocks for you.
Right.
Not with your right arm, at least. And now you can do your reduction roll. Fun.
Let's see how that works.
Use
I roll a 6.
Oh, I have never seen a reduction roll go below 6. I don't know why. So, okay. Story-wise, where we're at is, Flu is at the gate, but has been thrown down. Rill has been hit by several rocks, is still at the platform, and Payton has aged a bit and is still at the platform, I guess. So what do you do? Let's start with Payton.
I gotta get off this platform. I was hoping to boost myself, but that didn't work, so I gotta go. I can't hang back. They'll leave me behind.
Yeah, they will.
So I'm gonna go for it.
What are you using? How are you doing that?
I'm good at fleeing.
Yeah. So you're trying to flee into the temple.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess I'm just rolling a light die then.
Yeah. Unless somebody can think of a devil's bargain, but I'm out of options right now.
What if once you get into the temple, you're not alone? Not that it's one of us, but there's something else in there already.
Yeah, there is something else in there already. That's pretty much a given.
Oh, okay.
Any other Scott? You got one? Do you have a? Yeah, I can't think of one either. I'll just roll.
Yeah, just roll.
It's fine. It's a 5.
Wow. Okay. So you describe how you flee across the platform, and then I'll introduce the complication.
It's again, his ankle is in rough shape. He was unable to leech Flu's strength to help him. So There's a heavy run limp. It's just very awkward, but he hustles up through past the rocks, past up into the final temple there. Then he's sweating
Cool.
and tired. It's not good.
No. Well, I think let me look at this. Look at your condition. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, the complication is, remember how things started moving when you moved? There, you still have some sort of a halo of flying debris around you, which is kind of hindering you but seeing clearly, because this won't, they just won't go away. It's like you've acquired these satellites by rushing through the platform, but well, you're there at least. Okay, Rill, how do you get across the platform? Or do you want to sit it out? I mean, you've been betrayed before, you know that in there is something that maybe you want that. Maybe this time it will be fine.
So the situation is that the temple itself is the thing that you were describing that has columns and a roof over
Yeah.
it?
Yes, exactly. And the darkness in it can really peer into it. You can't discern anything. Maybe there's something moving in there.
Yeah, and Flu's underneath. I think I'm gonna or Flu has fallen down at the entryway, but Peyton has made it inside.
Peyton, they are both at the threshold.
Okay.
Because Flu has made it across the platform before, so he was stopped by your shenanigans, but he's still there. He's right now, I think he's probably getting up. Right, Flu?
I'm getting up, and I am steaming mad about that rock, but
Right. So I could run and try and get in, but I'm not real good at that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to run up and try. I want to try to knock down this, hit one of the columns, just body check it, and see if I can get it to collapse.
You have to cross the platform to get at these columns.
Okay, so then I will run, and I'm not. I don't think there's anything I can do to make anything any better there.
Okay, you can just accept the devil's bargain if we can find one for you, or you can just roll a dark die. Yep. Okay. I think in running across the platform, you will lose those parts of the Sith armor you gathered up, because I mean you can't hold on to that.
Yeah, so that's really valuable to me to prove my thesis that this is all real. But
come on. Yeah, I know.
I have to get inside, because if I don't, there's better proof inside. Yeah. So I will take the devil's bargain.
Okay.
And I will roll a die. Cool. I rolled a 2.
Oh.
Yeah. So now I take a dark die along with a light die.
Yeah.
And I will roll that. Oh, that doesn't look good. I rolled boxcars.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's and you're at ruin 5. Oh, wow. Okay, your ruin goes up by 1, and you run across the platform. I think the vortex just envelops you. I mean, it has already almost taken your mind. You can describe now how you become one with that vortex in the dark on the dark side, and what you're doing, vortex Rill.
So do I still have control over my actions?
I mean, you're not real
not a PC
anymore.
right? Yeah.
You're not real anymore, but you can totally tell what that looks like as real becomes one with the vortex, with the dark side of the force.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I think I have a good idea here. So I think that Rill moves across this platform with more precise movements than he has in the past. In the past, he's been very sneaky and hiding, and suddenly it's almost as if he's gotten more confidence about where he can go, and it's almost like he knows where to put his feet because he's familiar with this area. And as he steps up close onto the platform at the precipice of the temple, he puts the stormtrooper helmet on, and it shimmers a little bit across his body as all of the armor turns into that Sith armor, indicating that he's become one with the vortex.
Ooh, okay. So,
Does he start using his force powers against any of us?
you have the intuition that he might not be able to do that if you're inside the temple proper. You'll have to stay outside.
Oh, and Stephen, you can also create a new character.
I think we're close
He
enough,
just
right?
basically starts inside the ring that we're going into.
Yeah, sure. I mean, if you,
You have that option.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to. So he had.
I'd seen that, and my plan all along was whenever I succumbed, I would bring in a stormtrooper, right? But I don't know that that'll work here with a stormtrooper here in the middle of the thing.
I
Yeah.
think since we're maybe 10 minutes before the end, bringing in a new character wouldn't really work. I think we're at the end mostly for all of you.
I agree.
Okay, as you move, I guess you move into the temple because that drill Sith guard thing, that doesn't like you. Mostly it doesn't like you, like Flu, but I think it doesn't care for Payton much either. So moving into the temple proper, you have the intuition that it can't follow you in there.
All right.
And
That's not great, Flu. Not good at all. We're gonna have to fight our way out past Rill.
You mean that?
as you
That's
Go ahead.
Sith out there?
Yeah, that was Rill. You think we're both gonna get out of here?
Yeah, there's plenty of treasure in there. It's I'll get treasure. I'll be able to stop the bounty hunters. I'll be able to pay them off.
Worth it.
as you say that, Flu, you can hear that those voices that were calling you for all your life. You can hear them coming from inside the temple, and they kind of coalesce into one voice, into the voice of, I think, the voice you've heard before, like your mother's invisible helper is calling, but it's a far more grown-up voice. It's a far more strong voice. It kind of reminds you of your old guild boss a bit. And it calls you and it says, "Come to me. I've been looking for an apprentice for a very long time."
The treasure's this way. I can feel it. You can follow me or you can stay, but it's here. It's that way. I'm going.
And as you're going in, Flu, you can see inside this darkness, there is a kind of a figure, and it looks like, and it looks almost, you can't really identify what it is. It's a person. You're pretty sure that it's a person. It's a person made of black smoke and force and red lightning, and it kind of looks a bit like a Trandoshan maybe, which would be fitting, right? Because, and it's she's female. You can tell that, and you also can tell that this is whatever's left of Darth Malfara, the one whose temple this is supposedly is. And she's looking at you. And I will go over to Payton now because I want him in the scene as well. I think you're going into the temple, right? Or are you staying?
Yeah, no, gotta go. I mean, yep.
Okay, and it looks mostly like that. The female figure in the middle of this cloud of force and lightning and power, but to you it looks almost like it's a hot woman, a hot female.
Oh man.
And she looks at you, at both of you, and she says, "I need a new apprentice. This is the power to be found here. I need a new apprentice, but you know the rules. One master." And she looks at you, and exactly at you, Flu or Payton. One apprentice.
You know, Blue, are you interested in being the apprentice? Because maybe you could be the apprentice and I could just take like a small modicum, like a stipend, and then I just go. Maybe just like a little bit, and then you get all the rest to share with your new master. Does that sound amenable?
If you were my master, would you remove the bounty from my head?
If you were my apprentice, the bounty on your head would never worry you again.
Then yes, I accept. This is why I came here, I think. I think this is the treasure I was seeking.
This is the only treasure there is to be found here. And you hear that as well, Payton. And she looks at you again. You can hear her voice in your mind. Are you sure? Are you this weak? Will you just give it up?
That's it. That's all. There's got to be more, like holocrons, data crystals.
There's the power of the Force.
But I already have some. It doesn't spend.
You have nothing, little one. You're weak. Do you want to become strong? Or do you want to run?
Yeah, I'm running.
Okay, cool. So, Flu, she looks at you and says, "Do you want to let him go?"
He should not escape. He needs treasure. He needs to follow you, master. He came for treasure. It's the only treasure there is.
So make him.
I will make him, and I will envelop him in force lightning.
That's what you try to do.
Well, yes.
Yes. Okay. So, Rich, I hear that you are running, right?
I am running.
You are running. Okay.
Yeah, there's no treasure, so I'm out.
Okay. Very nice. But oh wow, I love that new picture. But I think Scott wants you to envelop you in force lightning. We are at cross purposes here, so we should talk about this. What do you think is cool here?
I think it's cool if he hacks me down. Like,
okay. So I think I'll let Scott roll for this force lightning.
All right, I'm just going to risk it on a single dark die.
I think, well, you have already accepted that. I think you will become Darth Malfara's apprentice. That would be a that would be a devil's bargain for sure. I mean, you've accepted that already, but still that would tie you to her forever.
This would be the act that proves.
Yeah. Exactly. And if you make it, then I think you hack down Payton. And if you don't, well, then he's in luck and can rush out and encounter the stormtroopers that are really gathering out there. But we'll see.
I got a 3 on the ruin and a 1 on the failed.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try again with an additional dark.
No, you can't, because the dark die was the highest.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so I failed. Yeah.
Yeah, the force lightning is playing out after Payton, and Payton, you're running or limping, as it was, because I mean you're not in good shape at all.
Nope.
But you make it out of the temple, and then you have to deal with the Vortex Temple guard, and
You mean Rill? Rill, the former
Ex-Rill,
buddy of mine?
yeah. You're not in a good place, I guess. But I would leave it to the epilogue, actually, for you to tell us what happens to Payton, because he made it out. He has 4 ruin, which is okay-ish for his mental state. And I think Flu has managed to successfully become the apprentice of Darth Malfara, which, well, we'll go to epilogue and see what becomes of him as well, because you have encountered the Ring 5 and you have encountered Darth Malfara and defied her. Okay, well, okay, let's go to epilogue. I would like to start with Payton, actually.
Okay. Yeah, I think Payton, he scrambles out of the temple, sees Rill, and runs past Rill the Guardian and narrowly escapes that, dances across the weird gravity columns, makes his way all the way out of the temple complex, and just over the ridge. He knows that the ship that they had landed a little roughly is there, and he comes up over the ridge to see that there's an entire squadron of stormtroopers there, and above it is like this Star Destroyer, and he sees that, he just kind of drops down, and he's lost everything. I think that's
Poor Payton. So
he wasn't a great guy.
But did he deserve that, really? Probably did. So, on to Flu.
Flu enters training as a dark Sith, but oddly is never able to leave this room of the temple. All this power, this growing power, but nowhere to go, nothing to do but train and train and train and keep training. I'm never good enough for Master. I try. I'm trying my hardest. Isn't it good enough for you?
It could be stronger.
I'm so strong already. I can feel all this power.
You're not as strong as me.
I think you're wrong. I think I am. I think I'm stronger than you.
Prove it.
I think I can become the new master of the temple.
And do you?
Yeah, I'm going to try to take my master, prove that he's weak. Prove that she is weak.
Your decision.
Yeah, so she fails to defeat Flu, and Flu becomes her. He's no longer Flu. she's Darth. What was her name again? Darth. Sorry,
Malfara. Malfara.
Malfara. She is one. This is her place. This is where she is. Another failed apprentice. The next one will do better.
And Rill, give us an epilogue.
So I think Rill revels in the fact that he had proven that the voices in his head were real. This is probably where they came from to begin with. And as the stormtroopers start trying to enter the temple has a new guardian. And it's not the rocks that flow up the hill that are the danger here. It's what hides between the rocks that stretches out and grabs the troopers before they can enter the temple. And Rill is very happy staying here with the voices, protecting this place.
Cool. Yeah, lovely. Thank you all for playing this Sith Temple with me.
Thanks
We are
for
done
running
now.
it, Sabine.
Hmm?
Thank you for running it. That was fun.
Yeah, we can do a bit of stars and wishes, maybe, just to come down a bit. And I would say, yeah, thank you all for playing. You were all amazing. I loved your characters. I loved the way Ro leaned into his hatred of Flu. I liked the way Flu became Darth Malfara in the end. And I liked the way Peyton was like, no, hey, why? I want just treasure. Let me run. Help. Oh, gosh. Oh, no. Oh, that didn't work so well. I really like that. Yeah. So I'll just go in the order of the character keeper because that's the easiest. Scott.
Yeah, I'd like to do a single star, and I'm gonna give it to Sabine. I think who very well hacked this setting into Trophy Dark. Very pleased with how it worked out. It was very thematic, but still felt like Trophy. So,
Thank you very much, Scott. Rich.
I want to say I really enjoyed the dark bargains we were coming up with. Stephen and Scott both had some good ones. Of course, Sabine, you're a pro, so I would expect it from you. But it was nice the across the table, all of us collaborating together on those dark bargains. And I like how all three of the characters met different dark fates. That was fun. The flavor of it all being a little bit different was nice. And hey, I got to play in Star Wars, so I'm all stars. It was good. Thank you so much.
And Stephen, what about you?
So I really enjoyed this game. I knew what to expect coming in. If I were hit with this unexpectedly, I'd be like, oh, everyone loses? That's a little sad. But I knew what Trophy Dark was. And as far as the system, I really like the system. So a lot of systems I've worked with push at a decay mechanic, like this ruin mechanic, to try and shove it up. And usually in one shots, it doesn't work that well. And I don't know about everyone else, but I tried really hard to push it, and I got it just as high as I wanted. And that felt really good to be able to engage with that in the mechanics. I really enjoyed all the characters and the scenes that were set up. I liked the challenges that we went through and how each person, figured their own thing out and did their own way around it, which was really cool. And I really enjoyed the epilogues. That was all really good. Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you all again. I can't thank you enough for my trophy players always, because their characters usually come to a terrible end, and I have to hope that everybody is on the same page as me, because I like it, but I always feel like such a bad person when I brag about, oh, hey, in my trophy game these guys died, and this one, hey, nobody died this time. Wow, this is a first. for a trophy game.
Oh,
Or,
wow. I mean, maybe there was at least one, probably two fates worse than death.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's
Blue just
obviously.
stopped existing, so
Yeah. It's all good. I mean, it's okay. And if Flu had been successful with his lightning, then I think Peyton would have croaked. So
Yep.
all good.
So close. Cool. You want me to go
Okay.
ahead and bring the stream to a close?
Yeah. Oh, sure.
All right.
I'm sorry. I forgot that we were.
It's all right.
streaming.
Thanks
Okay.
everybody for watching. Anybody does, and any comments would be appreciated. Thank you.